What is going on, everybody? Simply10 here, and today I'm going to be going over the past few weeks of what's happened in the world of LEGO. And well, if you're unaware of what I'm talking about, every single year around this time, so like end of November, beginning of December, there are a lot of LEGO reveals for what their sets are going to be in the following year. And well, instead of making one video for each theme or each set that's been revealed, I decided to combine them all into one and bring you the top 10 takeaways from every single LEGO reveal that came out in the past couple weeks. Just one thing that I'd like to mention here, and that is the fact that I really do try to make good videos in my unique 10-part method in a way that really makes you want to, come back. And well, if it really does make you want to come back because it's so interesting to you, hit that subscribe button and that bell so you don't miss out on anything that I have to say. Oh, and I do have a video talking all about the fact that there are prizes if you can get me to 1,000 subscribers. Oh, and if this video really does make you want to subscribe, let me know if you subscribed in the comment section down below. But with all of that being said, let's get back to the content because that's what you're really here for. So how this is going to work is I'm going to start at number 10 and move all the way down to number 1, number 10 being the least interesting and number 1 being, well, what you really want to hear. Because I gotta find a way to keep you guys engaged, right? And starting off here at number 10, this might have very little significance. I mean, it could just be nothing, but I just thought I'd bring it up because it is number 10, so you're not expecting that much to begin with at number 10. So I'm just going to give you this because it is kind of interesting. And that is the fact that so far for the year of 2021, Monkey Kid only has one set. Now there could be more, or they could be like Harry Potter where they only make sets in the fall. Well, actually they did just make some winter sets, but we'll get to that later. Usually Harry Potter's so far been making things in the fall, so they could be doing that sort of thing with Monkey Kid. But I mean, they came out with like a ton of sets this year for the summer wave. Like, it's just so weird to suddenly see them make like nothing for the winter wave. It's just, I mean, did it not do that good, or it's just something to think about. And next up at number 9, it has to do with the Mosaics. And it's the fact that these Mosaics look a lot simpler than last time. I mean, last time you got really cool looking Iron Man, a really realistic looking set of Beatles. You got some really cool ones. And then this time it's just kind of some really basic looking things. I mean, the idea of them at first sounded really cool, especially the Hogwarts crest. But the Hogwarts crest is what really let me down. I mean, it just looks so bland and boring and just not even like, I don't even want it like at all. The only one that looks remotely cool to me is the gigantic Hogwarts crest, but that costs $480 to get all 4 pieces stuck together like that, so that's definitely not worth it to me. Mickey Mouse, on the other hand, it is simpler, but it does look really good. Like, I like the look of it. It looks really nice, and I think it would be really cool for a lot of people, especially really like diehard Disney fans. So the art mosaics are just okay in the upcoming year. Next up at number 8, there's actually a brand new character mold for LEGO Friends. Yes, I know LEGO Friends not that interesting, but this is an all-inclusive LEGO video. I'm gonna bring them in just because. And it actually is kind of interesting because they just created a brand new mold that is more of a child version of the LEGO Friends. Sort of like how LEGO has had those much smaller legs for years, now LEGO Friends has a much smaller sized mini doll. It's almost like a mini doll. That's what I'm going to call them from now on. If I have to talk about them again, I'm going to call them mini dolls. Number 7 is the idea that Harry Potter is going for something really different this year. I mean, they're creating classrooms, which they have been trying to do with their Hogwarts pieces, but these won't really fit into Hogwarts, and they kind of fold up into this book thing. They're not exactly the most flattering sets to me. I don't know how much I really want them, but they are an interesting idea, and I think it's cool that we at least get a winter wave for once for Harry Potter this year, because this is the first winter wave since they rebooted the theme. The other thing that I noticed that was way cooler to me about these sets is the character design. I mean, just look at this McGonnagal. They've made her multiple times throughout the rebooted years, and now they just completely redid her again, and she looks so good. Like, why couldn't they do this to her the first time? Because now I have to go and get this set to get a brand new, way better looking McGonagall. Next up at number 6 is something that I thought was actually really cool, and it's what LEGO City is doing. It seems that with these sets coming out next year, they're going to have like roads that connect all of them. So instead of having to buy those road pieces that they put out there a few years ago, now you can just buy the set and you already have a road to connect to other sets. And I think that's a really cool idea, and it's something that they probably should have always done, because now kids can really make a gigantic LEGO City if they really wanted to. I just think that it's a really fun idea, and if I was really into LEGO City, I would definitely be all over this and I'd be in love with it. But I'm not, so that's why it's only at number 6. Next up at number 5, it seems that LEGO is still going after their adult audience. This year was the first year they came out with the 18 and up mark and the black box art and all of that stuff to go after an adult audience, and it seems like it worked because they're still doing it again at the beginning of next year. Creator Expert is having 3 of these at the beginning of next year, 2 of them being these botanical things, and then the third one is a modular building making its first appearance in black box art. And while I do like this 18 and up mark and I like this black box art, at the same time, it's already gotten a little old. Like, obviously it works with grappling those newcomers into LEGO, but for someone like me who's been into LEGO for a while, that black box art just looks boring because they just put it on every single set now. Like, all the modular buildings have had these really cool box arts and they look really fun and really awesome, and now it's just a black background with a glowing yellow thing behind it. Obviously that doesn't lower the quality of the sets. I think the sets do look really nice, especially that police station. Like, that looks really cool, and I think it's about time that they finally made a police station for that city because they've had a lot of things, and they even had a fire station. I think it was a really good choice for this year. I'm just a little tired of this uncreative box art for almost every single big set that I'm really looking at. Because these are the sets that I'm really into now, and whenever I look at them, it's just the same black box art over and over again. Next up at number 4 is probably a little biased for me just because I like it so much, and that is the fact that Ninjago is continuing to quietly produce amazing sets. I know Ninjago isn't like the most popular theme out there, and it's not like what a lot of people go after, especially the adult audience, but I really like their sets, and I really liked the TV show, and I still watch it from time to time. And while I've kind of moved past Ninjago sets and moved more onto Star Wars and Harry Potter, if I had more money, I'd for sure continue to buy these because they just look so cool. Especially the Legacy sets because they're really playing on that nostalgia that I have for it. And the sets are just designed so well, the characters look amazing, the builds look great, everything about the Ninjago sets just looks so cool, and I think they're really fun, and it's really nice to see a theme that doesn't have a single set with black box art. Number 3 is the idea that LEGO Star Wars has surprised us. I mean, come on, when we saw that set list in, what was it, like October? Very few people were happy at all. I mean, I did make a video talking about the other side, why they might not be so bad, but I still definitely wasn't that positive about the upcoming wave in general. But now seeing it, it just looks so much better for some reason. Like, I thought I knew what was coming, but it's hard to explain. I just think they look really nice, and I think that they're great LEGO Star Wars sets. It's just the content of them isn't what everyone wanted. And if you've been watching me for a while, maybe you noticed that I was the only person who realized that the X-Wing didn't have any rubber bands. I mean, LEGO's been using rubber bands since, well, they started LEGO Star Wars, and they suddenly have changed it, and it makes that view of the X-Wing so much better. Like, it makes me want to get it just to commend LEGO for making such a great LEGO set that no one expected to be so good. And I mean, you gotta love that Mandalorian set finally giving him his rightful Beskar Armor. Number 2 is the wave that I was the most disappointed in, and that is Marvel. I hate to be rude and I don't like being mean to LEGO, but they need to hire a new design team for Marvel. Maybe it's not their fault, maybe it's what their superiors are asking for, but just none of the sets look very good. Like, the character design is great and all of that, but the builds themselves don't look very good at all. I mean, look at this monster truck, it's just a square on wheels. And then you look at the Spider-Man hideout set, I mean, it just looks like a big junior set. Like, I don't understand. I feel like while all of LEGO is going after this adult audience, Marvel is still trying to play towards like the youngest of the young with all their LEGO sets. They're like, oh, well, they'll just buy it because it's Marvel and it's Avengers and they're superheroes. But no. Stop, please, Marvel, please. Some of those set names sounded really cool and I don't want any of them anymore. It's really hard for me to buy any of those sets even though the characters are so great, to have such a sucky set in general. They just look so bad and it's just so disappointing to me. But ending it here at number 1 on a positive note is the fact that LEGO is really good at their character design. Despite these sets not being what we wanted them to be, like LEGO Star Wars, or not looking so great like Marvel, all the characters in them look amazing. I mean, even Harry Potter has some cool looking figures in those sets that I'm not that interested in. And the Mandalorian with that arm printed in its Beskar armor, he just looks amazing. I have a feeling that I will buy quite a few sets next year just because of the figures in them, because some of the builds just aren't the greatest. Now that being said, there are a lot of good looking sets out there too. What can be said about all of them is the fact that the character design in them is amazing, and that if you're really just looking for the figures, you should be really excited about next year because so many of the characters in them are so cool and so unique and so interesting, and I think that LEGO did a really good job at their character design. Anyways, that is all that I have to say for today. Thank you so much for watching and giving me your time. And if you enjoyed this video, please let me know by giving it a like, and maybe even let me know by commenting down in the section below, because I always like to hear what you guys have to say. Or, if you don't really feel like commenting about that sort of thing, let me know what set disappointed you the most, surprised you the most. Just let me know exactly what you feel about this upcoming wave. And don't forget that if you really did enjoy this video, please subscribe, because it really helps me, and it will help you out because you'll get great content that I enjoy making, and I hope that you enjoy it too. And don't forget about those prizes if you can get me to 1,000 subscribers. But I mean, with all that being said, I hope to see you in the next one.